The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the raw and uncensored Ambitchious podcast. I'm your host, the original HBIC, Katie Boyd. During our time here together, I will be instilling all of the strength, power, and determination you will need to use the very stones thrown at you to build your ultimate empire. We will redefine the word bitch from the derogatory to the acronym, being in total control of herself. So let's adjust our crowns and prepare to live life ambitiously. Oh yeah, here I am, the original HBIC Katie motherfucking Boy. And over here we have the lowest of the low standards, Matt Babine.
I am the high standards of the universe.
Today's Ambitchious podcast is all about how to raise your standards to ambitious levels.
Yes, to the curb. My standards
You're going to get kicked to the curb if you don't shut the fuck up. Okay? Seriously. But before we start this podcast, I always love to give an ambitious shout out to our wonderful sponsor, Ayana, owner of PranaHairSkinAndLash.com. Tell her this bitch sent you, and she will give you $50 off your first full set of lashes. Oh, I love when I get my lashes done. It's so
feels
amazing.
good, right? You look so beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We need to get you some lashes.
I need something. Do something with these.
Get him some hair.
These lion eyes.
I've been trying. I want to get him like a good toupee or lace front wig.
Yes.
Maybe we can get him a lace front wig.
The great late Burt Reynolds. I'll have something on the top of my head.
Who had a good rug back in the day? Anybody?
I don't know.
Anybody have a good rug?
We wouldn't know if it was really good.
Yeah. But anybody have a bad rug?
I don't know. John Travolta's bald now. I don't know if he
but he
shaved
doesn't
it
have
off.
a rug.
No, I don't know if he was wearing one.
What about the guy?
Like,
all of a sudden he was bald.
Yeah.
Was he?
You think he was?
Yeah.
He was wearing a piece?
It's John Travolta. I don't give a shit what
Like plugs or an actual
he's
rug?
He's freaking awesome.
I think it was a rug.
Oh my God. This guy back in the day, he was a dentist in Boston and he was so handsome, but he had the worst fucking hair plugs ever. And he would always ask me out on dates, and every time I would look at him and go, you know, you're really handsome and you're a dentist and you have your shit together. But I would just stare into the holes in his head where his hair was. I couldn't do it.
It's almost like that Play-Doh thing where you.
Oh
you
my God, that's what his hair looked like, the Play-Doh hairdressing.
The Play-Doh barber shop. And all of a sudden the green and the red hair would be coming out. And then you have the little scissors when I was a kid and chop it.
That's what he looked like.
I think I got that in kindergarten too.
Oh my God.
When I was
Allegedly.
in kindergarten too, my parents put me in kindergarten
You were
1.
so dumb.
And then they said, well, Matthew, you got to go back to, I think this was on my the childhood healing. They all came
You're
up.
still on this, Matt?
Well, it was still bothers me.
Stop telling everybody about how ding-dongish you were when you were a child.
Childhood 2.
Childhood 2. Matt
2.
needs a childhood 2.
Problem child 2.
Matt wants a do-over.
No, sorry, that's not the way the world works, Matt.
No, we could have I've never been to kindergarten. Matt and I could go.
Yeah, see?
That would be a movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you probably tested out of it.
What
That's
was
why
it?
you didn't go.
Was it like Billy
I had to go for a friggin' repeat.
No, wait a minute. Was it like Billy? Remember the movie? What was it? With Billy Madison, where Adam Sandler went back to all the grades, so he could inherit his dad's money.
Oh my God, that would be. I love.
What
Adam
is it,
Sandler.
Kristen? What was the movie with Adam Sandler where he had to go back through all the grades? Billy Madison, right?
Billy
Madison?
Madison?
Right. Yeah.
I love Adam Sandler, Derry guy, New Hampshire guy. Yeah.
And he was like, all the cool kids pee their pants. Oh my God, that would be so cute if you guys got in like your little like Garanimals and went back to school.
Yeah.
We should make that happen.
I don't think they have enough material for me to get in a Garanimal.
We'll get you some overalls and a rubber underwear.
Outfit.
Imagine outfits. The little gorilla, and then you have a gorilla in your pants.
That would be so cute.
That's pretty cool.
Gorilla in your pants?
Yeah, I have a gorilla in my pants. I don't know about you, but
Oh my God.
Katie, you better get us back on top.
I'm having like all these like things coming at me, and it's not
this is
good.
about raising your standards. Ed. I have a gorilla in my pants.
I'm going to raise my standards, and we're not going to talk about Matt's pant gorilla, wherever that is, whatever that is.
I'll stick with the big banana.
More like a capuchin monkey in his pants. dance, which is one of those little small monkeys that play the
begging for action.
Yeah. All right. You're not allowed to talk anymore during this podcast.
All right.
So we're going to talk all about how to raise your standards ambitiously. Let's be honest. A lot of you people out there in ambitious land have low standards.
Yes.
It's like that low expectations.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Well, maybe they just haven't been ignited to understand what standards they could have if they followed Ambitchious.
Well, we're going to ignite you, and we're also going to school your ass about how to raise your standards today. So clean the fucking potatoes out of your ears and listen the fuck up.
And when she says school your ass, it's usually I'm getting fucking schooled on this podcast.
Exactly. So this is number one, is something that Matt knows a lot about. And really the first way to raise your standards is stop making excuses for where you are right now.
Yes.
Do you know anyone that makes excuses for where they are right now?
I do know somebody like that. And Katie, I'm helping you get through it.
Oh.
I'm going to help you. During this podcast, I was thinking of a lot of things that I could really help you with.
Yeah, I'm going to take my bamboo earrings out right now and I'm going to put some motherfucking Vaseline on my face and I'm going to fight you.
To rise you.
I'm going to fight you.
To rise you up.
I don't think so, Joel Osteen. I don't think so. Oh, my God.
I love Joel.
You are the biggest excuse maker. What are you talking about?
It's funny because I was doing, we both meditate, and I actually was really blessed to work with this, my next level meditation teacher, and it has a lot of different breathing exercises and so forth. Well, there's two rituals. There's a morning ritual and there's a nighttime ritual. Mm-hmm. The morning ritual I have down pat, but I haven't found, and it was funny because I had to go back and see him. He's like, hey, how's it going? Everything is working great. And I go, the daytime ritual the morning ritual works great for me because I'm used to doing it in the morning. And he goes, well, what about the nighttime? Because that's so powerful. You need to do that part too. And I was like, I almost said to him, I didn't have time, but I said to him right away. I said to him right away because I would not give him an excuse because I would be embarrassed. I said, you know something? I'm still in the process of working the nighttime ritual into my routine because of the karate studio.
Manipulation station.
But he was like, no, I understand. And I go,
did you feel like the biggest turd ever?
Yeah, because it was a gift. It's a gift to learn this, but it's really, I grappled with the nighttime ritual. But I have actually started the nighttime ritual, and I'm working on it really. The
reason why Matt's nighttime ritual doesn't work for him is usually his nighttime ritual is drinking copious amounts of vodka and
not
smoking
anymore.
cigars.
Martini Baybine sailed, so I'm the nighttime ritual.
Oh my God.
Martini Baybine sailed.
So if you're not where you desire to be in your life, it's probably because you're a fat fucking excuse maker. Okay?
Sometimes I make excuses. But I'll tell you something. There's less excuses and more action.
There needs to be if you're going to be ambitious.
Yeah, and then that's what I'm working towards. And it's funny because these excuses will just come out, right? If I'm not where I am, it's because I'm not where I am because of me.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I can't say, oh, well, Katie is doing this, and I don't have time for it, or I don't have this, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. No, it's my own.
It's like when people.
It's myself.
It's like when people on my Ambitchious 28-day protocol say that they're not losing the weight that the other girls are losing, or they're not losing the inflammation, or their like illness or diseases aren't going away.
Yes.
And then they're drinking.
Not good.
On a Saturday afternoon.
We don't know anyone like that.
And I catch them.
Yes.
And I catch them red-handed.
Yep.
Wearing their Ambitchious sweatshirt. I
remember that. I remember when that happened. Yes.
Love you, mean it. But it's like excuses. Excuses.
Yeah. And what's with these comparisons?
Right.
Yes. Worry about yourself. Everyone is a different person. Everyone moves.
What do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy.
True. It's so true.
Right.
That's very stoic of you.
Yeah.
Very stoic.
Yes.
But why bother comparing yourself to someone else?
Right.
Look at what you're doing and be happy with the progress you're making.
Or not. Or just don't do it. Right. Which is fine too.
That's fine.
But like, don't say I'm doing all these things and you should be so proud of me, and then they don't do it.
It's not fair because that one, it's so easy for them.
Yeah. When I hear it's not fair, it literally makes my butthole hair light on fire.
What does that even mean?
I wanted to see that. That's why I said
if you see smoke coming out of the back of my head right now, it's because my butthole hair is en fuego.
There is no fair.
What is fair? What does that even mean?
That's not fair. What is fair? Nobody's fair.
Fairness is the opposite of ambitiousness. Literally. Because there's is not true.
There's no such thing as fairness.
So if you want to be ambitious, if you want to raise yourself up to ambitious standards, your number one thing is stop making excuses. And if anyone works with me that listens, as you're listening right now out there in ambitious land, and you know nobody can come into my office and make fucking excuses, I literally look at them like, and I don't care. I'll call you the carpet because you're not paying me the big bucks to blow smoke up your ass.
Right.
I'm going to call you out if you're making damn excuses. That also has to do with my husband because he is numero uno excuse maker. You know, like the fresh maker, You're the excuse maker.
Give me one excuse that I've made.
Oh my God, what do you mean?
I have no excuses.
This could be a 17-year podcast.
Total responsibility for where I am next to this beautiful lady.
Right now, maybe you are, but like you were the king of excuses before. You would be like, I just drink because this is what I do. This is like part of my life. And it's like what I like. And it makes me feel good. And I'm like,
if having an excuse is sitting next to you. Then I don't want to change.
Smoke a dick, seriously. Honestly, smoke it. Smoke it. I can't even. He's buttering me up right now because he wants to make more excuses. I know his fucking games.
Right.
This bitch.
You know my ploy.
Listen, I didn't become Katie motherfucking Boyd by being a dumb bitch. All right. Number 2. This is a great one. Turn your shoulds into musts. So when you always say like, well, I should do that and I could do that and I would do this if the wind was blowing my vagina hair the right way, then I would be ambitious.
Stop waiting for it because it's not going to blow the
Honey,
right way.
it ain't going to blow ever the right way.
You're going to blow it yourself the right way.
No shit.
Yeah. Shoulds need to become a must.
I'm just having someone blowing their own vagina. Like, turn your shoulds into musts.
Yeah. The wind coming at you.
Absolutely.
Not good.
But when you turn your shoulds into musts, then your musts become your reality.
Yes.
And then you can live life ambitiously.
Well, you'll live someday. Someday, this will happen. I think it was Westworld. All of the robots. If anyone watches Westworld,
that movie,
it's always,
that show is.
Someday we're going to do this. Someday we're going to do this. And they're in this loop.
Hypnotic
program,
rhythm,
which is so.
That's what they were in.
They were in loop.
They were in hypnotic rhythm.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you watch Westworld, Mr. Ed Sullivan?
No. HBO, really good.
So good.
I saw the original movie.
Yeah, the old one was awesome.
Yul Brynner. Mm-hmm. I kind of like him because he has the same hairdo as me.
Yeah,
great.
Good looking man.
Bald as the day is long. Bald as the day is long. But it's true.
Someday I should get some hair.
Someday is not a day of the week, Matt.
No, it isn't.
But when you're always saying someday and then I should do this and I would do, it's like you are just a mediocre and just be that. But like I always say, get out of our way.
Embrace your mediocrity.
I say that.
Embrace it.
I think we should. If you're just listen, I'm not good at everything, and there's certain things that I'm very mediocre at, but I own it.
Embrace your mediocrity, and then go back to number 1 and make some excuses.
The opposite
That's
of
all
ambitious.
you do. I should do that someday. That's not a must. But
Katie, when are we going to launch the Motivational Matt podcast?
Oh, who would listen to it? One person, Matt Babine.
All right, Matt. Today we are not going to have to do much.
We're going to do stuff today.
We're not going to have to kill ourselves today.
Oh my God!
How could we? It's snowing. It looks like it could snow. Matt, it's July. Oh well, it could be hot.
This is what my life is every day.
Could be hot today.
Yes. Katie, I'm so sorry.
I mean, yeah, and I'm not making excuses. I chose this. I chose this. So turn your shoulds into musts if you want to if your desire is to raise to ambitious standards. And number 3, decide and stick to a decision no matter what.
Okay. Now this is what I'm on because when I make a decision, I stay to it. I never give up, whether it's in business, whether it's in my life.
Cheating on your diet, drinking when you're not supposed to.
This is not what I'm saying. And you know what I'm saying? And I decided to have a martini. I decided.
Okay.
I decided to
with
go
definiteness of purpose.
The North End and have a cannoli. I knew how to get there.
You didn't know about the cannoli, did you?
No,
with
I didn't.
Definiteness. But
every day we find out new things.
Well, I love a cannoli every now and then.
I mean, I found out that Matt repeated kindergarten twice.
You never knew that?
Never knew.
I repeat once.
Never
I didn't go twice. Once.
Yeah. He went to kindergarten 1 and then 2.
Which is 2 times. Jeez Louise.
They were different. Were you in a different room?
No, I was the same teacher, just a new class. And I couldn't put 2 and 2 together.
I was in the land of make-believe.
There was a reason I was in kindergarten.
I guess
too.
you probably needed it.
If anyone went to school with me, and you know, they know I needed kindergarten.
Oh my God, I think you need to go back to kindergarten too right now. But really though, when you decide, when the Latin root decide is to cut off anything else,
From
right?
anything else.
If you have a plan B, or if you're like, well, if I don't do this and this will happen, and it's not that bad, you will never raise your standards to ambitious levels ever. Right?
Or if they make a decision, or if you make a decision and you don't play it all the way out, right? So if you say, well, all right, let's say dieting or exercise program. If I've been doing this a week and I don't see any results, I'm giving up, right?
Absolutely.
Or I started a business and it's been 3 months when the average is 5 years, and that's when it starts to make money.
Please.
Then, that's why how many businesses fail in the United States.
I'm shaking my fist at Jill right now.
Hundreds of thousands. It's like 4%.
You're doing it now.
5% of businesses survive.
But it's all fear-based stuff, right? So when you make a decision to, like, say, you were saying, start a business, people don't understand, like, you have to have money in the bank just in case you have like a year of bad times, because it happens, right? Yeah. And you have to, like, every day when you're tired and you're like, I don't want to fucking post on Facebook again. I don't want to text another person. I don't want to email another person. I don't want to do any of this shit.
Right.
You got to keep going.
Yeah,
right? Like Art Williams said, like, do it and then do it and then do it.
Do it. I love Art Williams.
I love Art Williams too. Because everyone's like, Art, I'm really going now. He's like, okay, do it. But Art, if I just sell this one more, all right, do it. And it's like, he was like the #1 life insurance salesman in the world. He was like a multi-millionaire back in like the 70s when that shit wasn't even a thing. Yeah. And it was because he decided, no matter what, I am going to do this. The end. Yeah. Exclamation point.
Yeah. And that's how you have to do it, right? It's burn your boats.
Burn your boats.
There is no other way. I'm doing it.
If there's any way off the island, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Matt and Gilligan together.
It's more Lord of the Flies.
Come on, Gilligan. We're getting off the island.
But we burnt the boats. Shit. We got to make a deal here now. Yeah.
But that's the only way to do it.
Me and Gilligan.
I just see Matt in a bucket cap with like white pants.
I would actually like Gilligan better than the skipper because I wouldn't want to get whacked around. You'd like the skipper.
The skipper was a drag.
Yeah, the skipper was a drag.
Was he a Katie Boyd?
No, she's got a hat on. She could beat me with a hat.
Yeah.
The ambitious hat.
I want to be more like Marianne or what the movie star. What was her name? Ginger. I'm more of a Ginger, Matt. Don't fuck around. I'm actually like the old lady.
What was Mrs. Howell.
I'm more like Mrs. Howell.
Oh, she was the best.
She was a boozer.
And she was very rich.
There you go, I'm Mrs.
rich
Howell.
Boozer.
Right? Oh my God.
There's something to aspire to.
There I am.
A drunk rich boozer.
That sounds like a plan.
That sounds ambitious.
I'm gonna raise my standards to that today. And then #4, know what will happen if you do not raise your standards. So if you don't play all the scenarios out in your mind, like, if I don't do this, then this will happen. If I don't step up, this will happen. If I don't make this much amount of money, or if I don't say no to this person, or if I don't do that thing, these things will happen. These are your what? Side effects.
Yeah. And I think most people, when they're really having a hard time, I know when I started working in business or with my body or competing in martial arts or whatever, I always focused, when I was successful, I focused on not if I take action, what if I didn't take action?
Yes.
And I would look at it and say, you know something, if I don't do something, it's going to be painful because I know I'm more than where I'm living, right? So I had to leverage that side. And most people are like, oh God, if I take action, I could be rejected. If I take action, it's going to take a lot of effort. If I take action, this is going to happen. But if you build it up, what if I don't? What if I don't do this? What if I don't launch this business? I'm still going to be the same person. Or I'm going to be working at somebody else's dream instead of my own dream. And you build it up on that side, right? It's the huge way. All kidding aside, that's the way to do it, is to build up on that side. And then it's like you get so much pain on that side. It's like, shit, I'm fucking doing it. I'm not going to.
Because the pain you'll feel doing it is way less than the pain
if you stay stagnant, right? What's going to happen next year? You're going to be the same. You're going to look the same. You're going to have the same business. You're going to be in the same boat, right? So you have to build that leverage up. So it's almost like a mind trick, right? It's a Jedi mind trick.
It's so Jedi mind trick.
Line up the things. What if I don't?
Yes.
And then you're going to be sitting there looking in the mirror 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Here I am.
Yes.
Same job. Here I am. Same position.
Same
health. Weight. Same everything.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people do suffer because they always think about, what if I do it and I get pain? No, flip it. What if I don't do it?
Absolutely.
And think about the pain, because that's the real pain, and that's a wasted life.
And time's just going to keep ticking down. Just like fucking sands through the hourglass. So are the days of our lives.
Time keeps on ticking.
Into the
I was just gonna, I'm glad you came in because I was just going to start doing the Days of Our Lives.
Oh, I heard that every day of my life growing up. No shit.
It was awful.
It was fucking terrible. But it's true, right? Time is going to keep on ticking.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So whether you do or you do not, that's fine.
And you're just getting older, heavier, still not working on your dreams.
Yeah, more depressed.
More depressed.
You're a breath of sunshine.
Isn't he?
Well, I'm building up.
Just getting older,
heavier, and
more wrinkles.
Because that's what that's what I say to myself.
One day closer to death.
That's what happens if you don't do it. So just do it.
That is so funny because every time I allow someone to waste my time, like I'll look at Matt and I'll go, well, I'm now 30 minutes closer to death because of that fucking thing.
See?
It's so true.
That's because you're a good thinker.
I am.
Your time is valuable.
And last but not least, and this is so freaking important out there in Ambitchious land, if you really truly desire to raise your standards, just trust that the motherfucking universe has your back. Right?
If you're putting good stuff out there, it's cause and effect. If you're putting good stuff out there, good stuff is going to come. Now, is it going to come immediately? No. That's when you just dump more good stuff. And I heard somebody say, well, it's like planting a bush or a tree. And you planted it. Now it's going to take the time. It's going to have the water. It's going to grow, and it needs to start growing.
Well, like Amita Chopra always said, you need to water the root to yield the fruit.
Exactly. And you don't go out there and dig it up and say, how's it going?
Yeah, because you kill it.
You're killing it.
Yes.
You kill it. So you planted it, you got to let it go.
Yes.
Right? It's like you don't mail a letter twice.
Yes.
If you're doing
what's odd, though? Sometimes when you try to do good stuff, just because you can help somebody,
right.
Mm-hmm.
you decide, I'm going to help them.
Yes.
They get immediately suspicious. Right?
Yes.
What is he
What do you want from me?
Nothing.
Nothing. I'm just a good person.
Right.
Well, there are good people in the world. God help us.
The best way to help somebody is when they ask you.
Yep.
So if your life is on fire and you're doing a good job, right? And somebody comes over, hey, Katie, everything looks like it's working in your life. You know, your business is going well. You have a great husband. You have an unbelievable husband.
Oh, we just threw that in there.
Your husband is awesome. And you live on the street. You do all these different things. Can you help me do this? Right there gives the permission. That's a person that you'll be like, yes, I'll help this person.
Because most people won't ask.
Right.
They'll just sit and be jealous.
Yes.
Now I ask everything.
Yes.
Because if somebody has an answer that I want,
100%.
I'm asking you.
It took me 50 years to start to ask for help.
Me too.
And it's so smart.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, why didn't I do this before? It's so great.
It's so smart because you're getting the magic formula that somebody already else created.
Yes.
Right? And guess what? If somebody's successful and they're happy,
they're generally generous people.
Absolutely.
They're going to help you.
That's part of what made them successful.
Yes.
And they're passionate about it, right? So they're going to be like, absolutely. What are you doing? You're doing this wrong. Do this, do this, do this. Yeah. And it may take 3, 4, 5 years, but this is the formula, I hate to say.
Yep.
And then you have something to go by.
Yeah. Right? There's a book called The Kabbalion. If you guys haven't read the book called The Kabbalion, it's one of the best books and not a lot of people know about it, but pretty much like everything in the world, like Think and Grow Rich, like you name it, every book nowadays is all based on the principles of the Kabbalion, which is like this 1,000-year-old Hermetic principles. Mm-hmm. And one of the Hermetic principles says, as above, so below, as below, so above. Meaning, if you're a good person and you do good, it has to come back to you. It's just a law of the universe. So when people are like apprehensive about helping other people or doing good things or, picking up that piece of trash when no one's looking or whatever, it will come back to you. You have to trust that.
I think the problem is a lot of people, especially like how I was raised, is you're always looking on what am I getting?
Oh my God,
instead of what am I giving?
100%.
And it's the whole trick is if you focus on what I'm giving and I'm giving so much, whether it's a service or just being a good person or whatever the case may be, most people are focusing on the wrong side of the scale.
Yes.
And if you focus all your energy on the scale of how can I give? How can I serve today? What can I bring to the table? What can I make happen today that's going to light people up and make them happy? All of a sudden, the byproduct is what you maybe want.
Yes.
More love, more kindness, more financial abundance, more health, all of the good stuff, right? But I think people are trained to be like, well, if I do this, I need this. if I do this, I better get 2 times that.
No, doesn't work like that.
That's why most people don't have what they want, because they're focusing on the wrong side of the scale.
Yes. And it's funny because you made a good point. I have an example I had a woman reach out to me who's on my protocol, and she's doing amazingly well. She actually won the prize this week, because I give prizes away every week. And one of the prizes she won was most weight lost in 1 week, right? So she reached out to me. She's like, hey, my friend so-and-so really, wants to start working with you. She's just down in the dumps. She's having a hard time, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, well, if you want, you can introduce us via email, and then we can, take over from there. And then she goes, well, here's her email. You reach out to her. And I said, no, I don't do that. And she was like, what do you mean? She's like, I knew what she was thinking. I'm giving you a client. Don't you want this client? And I was like, I said, I actually know. I made it a rule that I only talk to people who reach out and ask me for help first. Right?
Yeah,
because I know that if I go, I can fix you, I can help you, I can, do all this stuff for you. Right. And she's not actively asking for help.
She's not mentally committed.
Nope.
Right? To be able to make that email and send that reach out to you is saying, I need this help.
And I'm ready to receive.
This, or I'm ready to take my life to the next level in any area. It's huge.
Because like Stuart Wilde says, you can't dangle people. Every time you are like, I'm the healer, or I'm the helper, or whatever, and you pick these people up, as soon as you're tired of holding them up and you put them back down, they're going to be like, wait a minute. You dangled me for all this time and helped me. Now you're not going to do that. Fuck you. And they turn on you. Right. So and I teach this in my business mastermind. You have to know who your ideal client avatar is, number one. And when you know who that person is, they're always going to come and ask you for help, because if you go out actively seeking to help everybody else, they end up being the biggest pains in the asses to you and your business.
And they'll blame you for the non-success because they haven't taken the initiative to start it in the first place.
Number one, don't make excuses.
Right.
Because you can't blame your shit on me, because everyone in the world that works with me knows I go above and beyond service. Like I under promise and I over deliver all the time. Right. So you got to just trust the universe has your back.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah.
It's so smart.
Yeah. I think it's so smart. Yes.
You ready to go?
I think so. I think that was an excellent podcast.
So listen up, guys. If you want to be ambitious, if you desire to take your life to the next level, just follow these 5 things we just talked about and call it a day. All right?
5
things. Thank you to each and every one of you guys every week showing up here, being crusaders for this ambitious movement. Like I always say, see you next Tuesday.
Good job, man.